everybody. Welcome back to Talk with TQ and the Energy Stoners Cafe. Tonight I have the best interview ever so far, but I am at the Bethany Arts Community in Ossining, New York, and this is a beautiful place to visit. And there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. Tonight I'm interviewing founder David Lyons and Community Outreach Director Julia Schonberg. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you being on the show. You're like kind of like big shots in the art in the local art community. You are.
Oh,
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
I imagine a lot of people that come here haven't even met you two. I can imagine that.
We still have a lot of new people coming in the door saying, I've never been here, what is this place? And that's when we get to talk all about Bethany and what an amazing space it is.
It is, and what a place it is. Now, this place is so important to art. And I always like to talk about these things because a lot of people sell artists short and they don't really understand what they need to do for artists. And you actually serve a lot of different communities within the community. When I went to your website, you serve the underserved, you serve the incarcerated, you serve children, you serve adults, and art happens every which way.
Yes.
So I'm going to start with David, because he's the founder, and I'm going to ask you, what made you decide to do this?
This was a manifestation of many thoughts and growing up in with situations, good and bad, that came to fruition with really creating a safe space for kids to come and create. And the arts, I believe, are a way to, again, as part of our mission, to enhance the perception and perspective in the world in which we live. So I just think through the arts, anything is possible. And starting with the kids and making it accessible to everybody, it's a win-win situation.
Yes, and so you started with the children. And Julia, you're the community outreach person. So what is entailed in what you do? Because it's not just children anymore. You're obviously out, there's outreach to, as I say, incarcerated people, disabled people. There's a whole list. And I think that's a beautiful thing that you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
I think it's, as you said, a very expansive role and word. I love what I get to do because I get to meet and connect with and learn from so many different types of people with so many different backgrounds, and figure out how we can create programming that really serves all different types of people in our community and communities. So we do really intentional outreach based on what programming we already have here, in terms of what artists are coming here, and we try to encourage artists to exchange with and gather with folks in our community. So we really do intentional outreach to audiences, to specific audiences that might resonate with what artists are making here. And then it's sort of the other side of the coin as well. We really try to survey and talk to people, and what do people want, what do people need, how can we create programming that really responds to that and to what people want to do and what people need and all the things that means.
So what kind of programs do you engage in? Because the programs, I think, are what people tend to try to look at, let's say, your website, and you try to see, well, where do I fit? So what kind of programs do you engage in?
Well, I think with Bethany, one of the beautiful things is that we can really do it all. So if we have the young school children's program, which is?
We have it's called Little Explorer Studio. It's Saturday mornings, and it was built actually in direct relationship with one of the elementary schools right here in town. What were people wanting? What were people needing? What time of day? What day of the week is best? So that's that program.
Sounds like a real collaboration.
It is. That's one of our favorite words is collaboration. And then on the other side of the spectrum, we have the seniors multimedia mixed art workshops that we have once a month.
Yeah, we started actually, we did a one-off workshop to see if it would work. And then we went to annually last year. And then this year we're hosting them almost once a month, seven times this year. Because of feedback, positive feedback, popular demand.
Do people come to you, or do you seek them out, or they seek you out? Is it both ways?
It's both ways. We were very open to conversations, to people's ideas. My feeling is our first answer is always maybe. Let's talk about it. There's almost nothing we will shut down right away. Upon further conversation, we may not have the room, or the timing may be off. Yet we never say no to start out.
This is a very inviting space. It's warm, it's cozy, and it's cold out there. And I walked in here, I'm like, it felt so good. But it feels so, not just engaging, but inviting. You feel drawn to be in here. Now within this whole building, there are different studios, and I understand there are some people doing residencies here now, correct?
Correct. We have 44,000 square feet. So we have gallery space, performance space, rehearsal space. We have studio space where we have local artists come in daily. We also have studio space for residencies that go from anywhere from a long weekend to 2 weeks. And we work with all levels of artists. One of my favorite residencies, our teen residency, that we work with juniors and seniors in Westchester County. They apply and they come for 2 separate weekends. They get a mentor, they get a place to stay, a studio to do their thing, to express and expand what they're working on.
That's beautiful. How can someone get involved in a residency here? Like, what is the process?
So we have our open call residencies, like David was talking about, which is our teen residency, our fall multidisciplinary residency, that's for 2 weeks in the fall, our emerging artist fellowship, which is 4 months long. All of these are, and our poetry residency in April, celebrating Poetry Month.
Poetry Month, yes.
All of these residencies are open calls. So we typically open an application online and we share it. Part of my role of sharing it as widely and expansively as we can to make sure we're providing access to all different types of people and artists. And so they'll just apply through the online application. And it's typically open for a few months. And then we also have other residencies through our partners at the Guggenheim Works in Process. We're one of their residency partners. So they either through an open call or just relationship building work with typically dance and performance and theater artists, and they'll send us a group. And they'll typically be in residence for a week or 2 weeks. And so that's sort of 2 different types of residencies.
So tell the audience, because a lot of the audience that we have are not artists. Explain to the audience why a residency is a real feather in one's cap for an artist.
I believe for the artist, I'm not sure if it's a feather in one's cap, because what we really try and work with is the process. We love the product. We love to have a finished product, and there are a few things around the campus that are finished products, some of our outdoor mosaics and things like that. Yet Bethany is much more about the process. Without that process, you don't have the finished product to show down in the theater in the Guggenheim Museum. They come here, and it's really great to see them working in the performance space and then going down there and to see what the finished product looks like and to actually visually see how they've worked through something that was troubling them here. They worked through it and then presented it down there. So the process is super important here, almost more important than the final product.
So what kind of criteria do you look for? When someone comes to you and they say, I want to create a 6-story high Godzilla. It's a piece of art, you know? That wouldn't be out of the question in some people's minds.
No, it is not. We have a giant out on our trail who is sitting down reading a book.
Oh, nice.
To scale, he's 33 feet tall. Fortunately, he's sitting down because we are confined by zoning laws not to go above 15 feet. So as much as I would love to have a 6-story Godzilla, we might have to scale it down, yet we would be able to discuss it. All of those things are, all artists are up against. Where do you find money? Where do you find the time? Where do you find the space? And we are open to discuss it all. We've worked with artists in the past for rather large projects where we decided it was the right project to do. It was with Flyway Productions, the one I'm thinking of, and it was a 3-part about decarceration as opposed to incarceration, and decarceration through the arts. And as an organization, we chose to back that idea. And then we go and find the money, we find the sponsors, we find the grants, and we work together as a community, and we collaborate with as many people as we can to make something like that happen.
So the people that are here, the residencies, the members, the member artists, how do they range? I'm sure there are visual artists. What kind of performing artists are here?
At the moment, we don't have any performing artists. They, again, the residency that we worked with the Works in Process, they were here for a week, last week. That is one type of artist. We have the visual artists. We also have singers. We have, he's a sculptor, and he does like sort of 3D sculpting, large costumey type of sculptures. Who else is down there?
We have a photographer who has a studio. We also have some writers, someone working on a one-woman show, a play. We have someone working on a novel. So we have permanent studio artists, as well as some temporary studio artists. So those projects, of those like temporary projects, we have artists who rent space from us for about 6 months at a time, and then some permanent studio artists who have been here for 7-8 years.
Since the beginning.
They're members.
Yes.
So how does one get membership to Bethany Arts Community?
To be a member, sign up on our webpage. There's different levels of membership with different varying goodie bag things, right? As most organizations do. We have a wait list for our studios that I guess we get, occasionally we get one when somebody moves on or they move or just, you know, and so a studio will come up. But we have a wait list and application, I believe, for that process. Again, if you're an individual artist and you want to come here, reach out to us, send us an email, and let's talk. We are really open. Like I said, we have 44,000 square feet and 25 acres. My feeling, our feeling is, what can't we do?
I think you leave it wide open. How many?
44,000 square feet. Yes. We have a full commercial kitchen, a cafeteria. Except for the kitchen, everything really is multi-use. Like our cafeteria may be a workshop space in the morning, lunch in the afternoon, another workshop space, and then a reception. You know, it's really the being able to use the different spaces in various ways lets us do pretty much everything. Not all at once, yet over time, as I say, what can't we do?
I noticed that what I've observed about the arts and artists is that, as opposed to other individuals, artists are very much engaged in the process. But of course, I'm sure if they want a studio, they might be like, when? But do you find that they're more engaged with the process? They must be so grateful to get a space in here to work.
A lot of them are very grateful. It's their process that they're working with, yet one of the beautiful things about Bethany is that the doors are open. So if you're working in one medium and the artist across the hallway is working in another, you'll start talking and you'll say, well, let me show you how you work in this, and you'll collaborate in that way.
That's great.
And you'll really share. again, collaboration, not competition, is where we thrive best.
Yes.
You know, is working together.
I was privy to interview one of your current artists that is here, that Tanya Johnson, and she had a little space, and it's amazing how she just made the best of that space. And there's just so much to look at. There was so much to, every time I looked over my shoulder, there's something else of hers. It is a beautiful space, and also you have the grounds.
Yes.
So what kind of events do you have when the weather's a little bit better?
We
lot better,
have
actually.
all sorts of events. We can start with Wood Fest, which is a wood-centric all-day festival. We also do, in the first Saturday in the month of Arttober, we have Arttoberfest.
Arttober.
Yes.
I like that.
I guess it was just before President Biden left office. He made a proclamation that the month of October would be Arts and Humanities Month.
Great.
We've been doing Arttober for 5 years.
Did you try to reach out to him?
We think that
We tagged him.
Yeah, we figured he must have heard that we were doing this.
Yes.
So we have that. This year we are doing our first inaugural Day of Community Art and Music Festival, which will be having music on the lawn, and we'll be having artisans in the orchard, setting up tables and selling some of their artistic endeavors.
You have an orchard.
We do. We have an orchard and some raised beds. We have a what we call a meditation trail that takes us about a half-mile loop in the woods. And again, it's just a trail to walk. There's nothing going on yet, except for the giant at the top of the trail.
Okay.
You can
okay.
stop and see him. He's reading a book.
We don't want to disturb that.
Well, he'll say hello. If you go out there, you may find we work with Little Leaf Preschool, which is an outdoor preschool. So pretty much if it's raining within reason, bring a raincoat. So we work with them, and they come every day, which is a great, to see the little kids and then to see the senior citizens, and recognizing that everyone in between comes. We have the teenagers coming for our teen residency. We have the 20-somethings, the 30-somethings who are a little bit more established in their artistic endeavors, and they come for our fall residency, our multidisciplinary residency, or the poetry residency. Or if they have an idea, they come with a group of themselves and say, we'd like to do something, and we're more than welcome to do it. Do we have any other outdoor?
Another event coming up, which is partially outside if the weather's okay, is our annual open house. So that's a really awesome day that's completely free. We open our doors and we showcase all the different multidisciplinary things that we do. So we have poetry, we have dance. This year, we're actually going to have a work in progress showing from Raja Feather Kelly and the Feather Theory. Raja is a dance and theater artist and choreographer, mainly working in the city and internationally, and he's going to share a piece he's been working on. So, and then we'll have
a performance piece.
yes, yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, and then we do buildings and ground tours. We also we share the bees. Do you want to talk about the bees?
We have bees on Bethany, which I think are super important for not only the world at large,
Yes.
but I think bees are,
Bees are
extra
awesome.
neat. Yeah, they are.
They're
They're awesome.
awesome.
So we have an apiary. I am an amateur beekeeper. I work with a professional beekeeper, and it's really, it is sort of an analogy for Bethany is that you are out in the world and you come together in Bethany and you make some really good stuff, and then you go back out in the world and hopefully spread that good stuff around.
Yeah, I think art is an essential for our world.
I truly believe.
And I think it's very essential these days. There's so much confusion. Now you have also, when an artist exhibits here, because I went to a solo exhibit here of a photographer, there was a discussion. So when you have a reception, what are your receptions like?
It depends on the exhibit.
Yeah.
We have one exhibit where all of our studio artists participate, and they are all present at the exhibit to talk to anyone and everyone. Sometimes we will have just the individual artists, and we will create a Q&A,
Yes.
so to say. It's really, we leave a lot of it up to the artists. We're not here to tell the artists what to do, as much as try and support and facilitate.
Right. And the town of, this is the town of Ossining here.
Correct.
They're very supportive of this property and this
Yes.
organization, I imagine.
Support of the town was super important.
Yes.
And they really helped, because we were sort of, nothing like this had been done in Ossining before.
Right.
So they were really, how does this work? We were all, how does this work? And they were instrumental in creating a sort of a roadmap for us to proceed and grow within the limitations of the town, and being cognizant and respectful of our neighbors. So they were very helpful and supportive.
So you have a black box here?
We
Black
have-
box theater?
We have a theater that is, it's not black yet, it is it's multi-use. We created it, previously it was the chapel. When this main part of the building was built in the 20s for the Sisters of Mary Knoll.
Oh, right.
In the 50s, it became a nursing home, and they added on a section, and that's where they have their chapel, which is our performance space. So it is a square, and we can really have the stage anywhere within that space because of the way it's designed. So, and we've had from theater, we've been able to create just one large dance studio. We have a sprung floor there. So our first resident when we opened up was Bill T. Jones and Arnie Zane Dance Company. And basically that was their studio all the whole time that they were here, which was great because it's a 26 by 53 space with a 22-foot ceiling. We also have galleries that are, again, multi-use. We can have our receptions. We've had the Briarcliff and Ossining Ministerial Association gathering in one of the spaces early on when we first opened up. I just want to say one thing about Bethany. When we first came here, we went to the community and we said, what's going on here? What do you need? And we found out that there were plenty of artists, plenty of arts, just not enough space. So we endeavor with 44,000 square feet
That'll do it.
to help put a dent in that. Oh, we could probably use some more space, but we're limited.
Yeah, well, it's
know.
a pretty good start. And then you have the outside grounds, which are really quite magnificent.
Yes, we have, unfortunately, you've come in the evening, but we have several sculptures around the property. The idea of being a sort of smaller version of Storm King. And we hope that the community comes on the property and they come and look at the sculptures and walk around. It's free. Everyone is more than welcome to come and join and see the giant at the top of the trail.
Giant, yes.
We have Larm, who's doing his dance at the entrance. We should be having, we're returning with Fitzhugh Carroll. He has done a series of what's called field jacks. We'll be having 2 of his field jacks come back to Bethany out on the lawn, which is we're kind of excited about that.
Wow, that is exciting.
We're looking
So
forward
there's
to
art
that.
happening in Ossining. And even though there is a downtown Ossining, this is off the beaten track.
It is.
And I appreciate it being off the beaten track. You know, as an artist, it's so nice, it's quiet in here. I imagine during the day there's music or something going on somewhere in somebody's room.
We have the studio artist here. We work with Steffi Nosen Dance, and we give them space to do a Parkinson's dance class.
Okay.
So we have Parkinson's patients come once a week, and they may use our galleries. They may use this rehearsal space downstairs. We find space for them every week to work with them. So when I say, what can't we do, and who can't we do it with?
Yeah, I can't think of anybody you can't do it with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We really, and if you haven't heard of us, come knock on our door. If our door is open, we're open, so come on in.
I have one question. How did you come up with the name Bethany? Who is she?
Bethany is the original name of the building. The Sisters of Mary Knoll built Bethany as a Bethany rest home, and it was sort of like a in between missionary assignments, or if you were coming up to see Mother Superior, you would stay here. So when I was creating and I needed a name, I was in a little bit of a hurry, and someone said, well, you can change it. I said, okay, well, let's go with Bethany, Bethany Arts Community. And we tried different variations, BAC, back. She is Bethany.
Okay.
She has a being. There is a sense of, as much as I'd like to take all the credit for the vibe here, I cannot and I will not. It was here when I got here and invited us in to create Bethany Arts Community.
So before we end, what are the plans for February? Is there something special coming up? This is January now.
Yes, yeah. In February, we have our annual award-winning 6th annual Black History and Culture exhibit. This year it's titled Revolutionary Legacies. Every year there's a different theme. It is in our galleries, so it's an immersive exhibit curated by Joyce Chirac Cole. She's the Ossining Village historian. And it runs January 31st through March 6th. And then within that month, we also have 2 programs that are part of the Black History Month programming, which are Soulful Flavors, a Black Diaspora Culinary Journey on February 7th. So that's an evening of cuisine, tastings, and storytelling by Joyce Chirac Cole, the curator, and then Chef Babatunde Cole, who creates a meal and a gathering for folks to come together to learn about the Black diaspora, stories, history, culture, and also through food. And then we also have later in the month a narrated stage drama, which is about an hour and a half, kind of a play reading called They Call Me Dimmick, which is about a man who was enslaved and then self-emancipated and actually ended up here in Ossining in Westchester County. So that'll be February 20th, 21st, 27th, and 28th. And it's written and developed by Joyce Chirac Cole, the curator of the exhibit. And then through February and March, we also have some of our ongoing programming, which are our Little Explorer Studio on Saturday mornings for kids grades K through 2. And then we also have our art workshops for older adults. This month, I think we have a Painting from Life class. So it's a still life painting class that's also looking at artists from history. And that's February 13th. And then we have our festivals and open house coming up later in the spring.
Wow, that's a very busy month. And yes, thank you for doing all of this, to really embrace the month itself, Black History Month. It goes deeper than people realize.
Yeah, so this exhibit in particular has grown immensely over the years. When it first started, there were about 500 visitors, and then last year we had close to 6,000, and we hosted tours. We hosted about 150 tours for local school districts, free school tours for students. We also host tours for community groups, adults, senior centers, faith-based groups. It is our, in attendance, it is our largest exhibit and programming. It's a really special month in which so many people from all different backgrounds come together here.
Well, thank you so much. You guys are great. I feel inspired by talking to both of you, very much so.
Thank you so
And
much.
I'm going to recommend to my audience to come to 40 Summerstown Road in Ossining and check out Bethany Arts Community. And you guys are terrific. I think you're working great together.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. For now, I'm going to say goodnight to the audience. Thank you for coming to visit once again, where I always find the most interesting people on the planet to present to you. Thank you. Bye-bye.